Well, I'm the one that got put on the spot, but I can honestly say that that we didn't really have a consensus of methodologies here. We have a very broad range of experiences. We had one member of the group who had a business unit that experienced 50% layoff within the last year and was struggling with the sharing knowledge, or the loss of knowledge that took place, the tacit knowledge. We have another member of the group that is experiencing some baby boomer retirement and trying to find a way to capture the knowledge that that those people who are leaving have. We talked about you're not leaving until you give us your pearls, and how do you incentivize that? And I could tell you that there are some organizations that have layoffs or early retirements where people just they decide they're going to retire and they're gone in 2 weeks. So how do you capture that stuff? I think it has to be pretty much proactive. You need to start with a strategy that incentivizes. This is another topic that we just, how do you incentivize? One way is that you're not leaving until you leave your pearls behind. But the bottom line is executive buy-in. I think you have to incentivize somehow people to participate in a process, to evaluate, to organize yourself so that you have some subject matter experts that can evaluate the information that people do leave, so that you have some value assigned to it, and then publish it in a way that's easily findable. If I didn't represent us okay, then you're welcome.
Besides what everyone else has said, I know I did a lot of talking on this one because I come from a military background, and the military presents a unique situation in that there's usually at least a 33% turnover every year because we move around so much and change jobs so much. So there's a lot of different techniques that are used, and some that we discussed were continuity books. Continuity books for each particular position. And those are maintained and inspected by the immediate supervisor, because that supervisor should know what the job is that their subordinate is doing, and can do the evaluative judgment of, is what you have in here current? Is it really what you're doing? And in that way, it kind of helps keep the book current. That helps mitigate the issue when you have the turnover where someone has left before the new person arrives. It gives you at least a starting point for that person coming in, and takes the learning curve and tries to bring it from being a really slow one where you have that lack of knowledge to one that at least is a little steeper and gets them up to speed faster. So that was one of the things we talked about. Yes, we talked about matrix as far as matrix organizations, and being able to have your primary area of focus, your primary subject matter expertise, but also getting a sense and an understanding of some of the other positions and other duties that exist within your organization, so you are sharing that knowledge amongst different people in the organization. We talked about mentorship and coaching not being just something that when you have people who are getting ready to leave, who've been in a position for a long time trying to pass on information, but more the model of you have a subordinate that you are mentoring and coaching, so that when you're gone, they could fill in and replace you if need be, so that you don't run into this crisis all of a sudden when the person who's been there for a while leaves and that knowledge is lost. And I think that pretty well covers. The other thing, the thing we brought up as an issue of concern is, as somebody mentioned before, this being a crisis issue where that's the time when all of a sudden we start considering it. This has to be a process, a strategy within your organization that is ongoing. So although the crisis that's bringing it to a head right now is the fact that baby boomers are retiring, or people that have been there for a long time are leaving, and you don't want to lose that knowledge, you can't just focus on them. You have to make it something that goes across your entire organization. Otherwise, 5-10 years from now, you're going to be facing that same situation again. So you must place a process in place that mitigates this, so it won't be a long-term problem, but it'll be something that we're now beginning to mitigate right away.
December 17th is the next session. It will be a cafe session, not a buzz session. The difference is that instead of a formal presentation, there's just tables located with various subjects, and you'll rotate from tables in a similar fashion and buzz about them within the table without the presentation. And then we rotate. So you can see some of the things we talked about tonight can be broken down for a table discussion for the 17th. If you have experience with wikis in your organization or blogs or anything like that, social network applications you're using, a great time to share what you've been doing. So I again encourage you to go online, register. kminstitute.org is the site, and you can get it. You'll see it on the brochure. With that said, we're done here, but the networking piece can continue. If you have conversations that you want to finish with folks, please do that. If you have ideas you want to bring up to anyone right now, now's the time to do it. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you on the 17th of December.
Bring a friend next time.
Yeah.